Good evening, America, and those listening around the world. It's time for the Conservative Syndicate with your host, John Matthews, self-ordained, politically incorrect, mad prophet of the airways. The Conservative Syndicate is comprised of some of the most knowledgeable activists and pundits today that together seek to tear down the imaginary wall of separation between church and state through education, information, and engagement with those seeking the truth regarding the similarities and differences between the religion of politics and the politics of religion.
Well, by getting on Larry King and telling everybody I'm a Christian and I wasn't raised in a Muslim home.
Americans have Muslims in their families or have lived in a Muslim majority country. I know because I am one of them. As a boy, I spent several years in Indonesia and heard the call of the azan at the break of dawn. I have known Islam on 3 continents before coming to the region where it was first revealed. That experience guides my conviction.
Unless we get on our high horse and think this is unique to some other place, remember that during the Crusades and the Inquisition, people committed terrible deeds in the name of Christ.
At what point does a baby get human rights, in your view?
Well, I think that whether you're looking at it from a theological perspective or a scientific perspective, answering that question with specificity, is above my pay grade.
I've got 2 daughters, 9 years old and 6 years old. I'm going to teach them, first of all, about values and morals. But if they make a mistake, I don't want them punished with a baby.
As long as we've got to fight to make sure women have access to quality, affordable health care, and as long as we've got to fight to protect a woman's right to make her own choices about her own health, I want you to know that you've also got a president who's going to be right there with you, fighting every step of the way. Thank you, Planned Parenthood. God bless you.
Hey, all you can do is just tell the truth and trust in the American people that over time they're going to know what the truth is.
We are 5 days away from fundamentally transforming the United States of America.
And now, your host, John Matthews.
Okay, hey, how we doing out there all across this great land of ours and around the world? It is that time. It's time right here for the Conservative Syndicate coming to you live right now from the old left coast out here, my little cubby hole out here in the left coast. I am your host, John Matthews. Glad to have you with us tonight, and I hope you enjoy the show. We got a couple things, several things we're going to talk about tonight, and none the least of the latest crisis in the making, and to understand what our president has in store for us right now in regard to another crisis not going to waste. That would be the situation out in Baltimore right now. And so we're going to talk about that tonight a little bit. A little bit about what's going on with the Hillary campaign. Everybody's got their eyes on Baltimore. Isn't it? Is it more than coincidental that every time we have some kind of major political scandal on the horizon here that something comes along and just all of a sudden everybody's attention is diverted? Gee, I wonder just, when things become such a coincidence that it happens like all the time. You got to kind of wonder what's going on. But anyway, I've got my co-host, Joe Hakos from Dryer Report with us tonight. How you doing, Joe?
I'm wonderful, John. Absolutely wonderful. Can hardly contain myself. It's really, wow.
I am sick and tired. I am sick and tired. We came out of the White House.
And she came out of the White House broke. And so have I. They're just about to break us, John. They really are. But no, I'm fine. Everything's cool here. Thank goodness. I just pray for those folks in Baltimore because there are a lot of people in Baltimore that don't deserve what's going on there right now.
Yeah, and there's several things that are coming out of this, and of course everybody's, whether it be the media or the White House has kind of kept a low profile on it up to this point. Obviously, trying to figure out how to use it to their advantage. That's the thing. The newly sworn-in DOJ, Loretta Lynch, has promised to make a run down to Baltimore, to see firsthand what's going on. Elijah Cummings, the congressman from Maryland, obviously I don't know if he didn't attend or if he had his blinders on him when he was there, but he was talking about how peaceful the city was.
He spoke at the funeral.
I'm sorry?
He spoke at the funeral just before all the protests started that turned into riots.
Okay.
If we were to go into how the media described them at the beginning, I was watching them throw bricks and stuff at police when they were still calling them protesters. I'm like going, that's not protest, people. That's rioting.
Well, it kind of makes you wonder, and of course, I always now these days when these kind of things happen, the first thing I wonder is, where's Al Sharpton?
Let's see.
He hasn't reared his ugly head yet.
He's on his way.
Oh, is he? Okay.
Yes, the mayor said, "Well, come on down, Al. I'm sure you can solve this for us."
Oh, okay. And
little does she know that he's not there to solve it.
And what's the deal with? What do you know about Jesse Jackson? Is he going to be doing any fundraising while he's down there?
I don't know.
Or up there, I guess.
You'd have to ask, what's in it for Jesse?
Yeah.
Jesse, what's in it for you?
Well, he's been kind of on the lam ever since he got booed out of Ferguson.
Well, that and he's got a criminal past, and his son is a little bit that way, and so he's just kind of maybe he's repentant.
Yeah,
it's worth a shot.
Well, maybe he's just having too much fun now.
I don't know. He could be assistant Rahm Emanuel in Chicago.
Yeah. Speaking of that, what's your take on that? I mean, he actually had to run this last time for mayor.
You get what you deserve, Chicago. If you thought it was bad the first time around, don't expect it to get any better.
Yeah, let's just keep doing what we're doing and expecting different results. Yeah.
Look at Detroit. Look what's going. Seriously, look what's going on in Baltimore, and they're blaming it on economics. Really, those folks. That wasn't an economic protest going on there, people. That was lawlessness taking control, and that was feckless leadership or a lack thereof. Yeah, and that's what you get. You're going to get people out there, and the mayor said that she wanted to give them space to destroy things. Oh my, really?
Yeah, that was one of the things that just really blew me away.
And then she's trying to walk. That's not what I meant.
Yeah.
Then why did you say that?
I love it. Don't you love it when they do something like that, and then you hear we have to make sure that our citizens are protected, and we won't stand for thuggery and all this stuff. And you're watching the place burn. And
there's nothing. I mean, do we have to have another American city go through this, or how many more American cities are we going to have go through this garbage?
Well,
this is time to stand up against this lawlessness. This is just ridiculous.
Well, see, you're feeding into this the conspirator in me here, and
that's what I'm doing. I'm feeding you, John.
Yeah. It's not hard to do these days, But one of the things that I have really been tossing around my head, I shrugged it off in the beginning when I had people contacting me and asking me about this Jade Helm 15 and what I thought about it. The idea that we've got some kind of massive military buildup going on here within the United States.
You might want to explain exactly what that is, John.
Yeah, we're going to do that a little bit tonight.
Okay, I can give you the military, the stated purpose and that kind of stuff. I have it in front of me here.
Oh, okay, great.
So we can talk about it.
Yeah.
So whenever you're ready, I can feed more into you, John.
Okay, we'll do that. We'll do that because we've got Karen Siegemund from Rage Against the Media coming on in about 5 minutes or so. Ron Edwards from the Edwards Notebook will be doing his weekly contribution tonight in the second hour. And,
I'm sure Ron will have something to say about the Baltimore thing, don't you think?
Oh, yeah. Ron, in fact, he very seldom, when I ask him what he's going to do, he very seldom offers anything. He's more like, whatever you guys are doing. But he actually had a list this morning. The Baltimore riots, of course, was at the top of the list. But he did bring up a different perspective, and that's one of the things we're going to talk about is how is the what is the Obama administration doing right now while all the attention is diverted away from the White House and on Baltimore. As I said at the beginning, opening the show, it seems to me just a little bit more than coincidental in several aspects that whenever these things erupt, and they're erupting more and more, that one, they're not, I think they're more planned than they are spontaneous. I haven't seen any video, but I'm looking for the pre-printed signs, you know.
Oh, yes. Well,
and the things like that kind of give you an indicator that, there's more than just a bunch of thugs out there.
Yeah. Well, today the Supreme Court started their oral arguments for same-sex marriage case.
Yeah, that's on my agenda today. I want to talk about that.
Nothing's going on.
Yeah, I love this. We're on the same page, which is cool. For not having talked to each other all day and come on here on the air, and as my pastor says to me often, great minds think alike. So that's one of the things we want to talk about, speculating here as to what's going on, as far as whether the court rules for or against. I think one thing that's going to be pretty obvious is that regardless of the outcome, the war on Christianity will continue in mass and in force. If the Supreme Court decides in the favor of saying, okay, it goes back to states, each state should be able to dictate what they want, and the federal government shouldn't, then we're going to become massive targets for our quote-unquote evil influence on government.
Well, in a way, John, that's probably fairly all right, because that's what needs to happen. That should happen at a local community level, at a state level, as opposed to the federal government dictating. Just like they did with abortion. That's not the way to do this. I mean, that's been raging since Roe v. Wade. So let's, hopefully, I don't know. And I don't think we'll know until they actually render that decision. But it should be, I think.
Well, I would like...
And it's like you said, it's not going to be over.
No, and as a Christian, I would like to be able to take the blame. I'd like to be able to say, yeah, we actually influenced something. We actually stood up and did something. But that isn't true either. So it's going to remain to be seen. And if the courts should decide for the same-sex marriage, then, of course, we're going to become the right-wing extremists again, which means we're going to be targeted in that regard. Either way, we're going to get targeted. We're already targeted, but we're going to take the brunt end of this one way or the other. In the left's last barrier to total utopian collectivism is to remove the church from the picture.
Well, at least we have Bruce Jenner on our side, or do we have him on our side?
Well, yeah, at least we got the guy. We got the guy that really matters in the end.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I always used to have a bumper sticker on my car I loved. It said, I read the Bible, I know who wins.
Exactly.
So anyway, hey, we're going to go to our first commercials here. And when we come back, Karen Siegemund from Rage Against the Media should be with us. So stay with us right here on the Conservative Syndicate. We've got a lot to cover today. We'll be right back. You can catch all our show archives at theconservativesyndicate.net. The Conservative Syndicate, real conservative talk from real conservatives.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. Then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-790-5960. That's 1-800-790-5960. Again, 1-800-790-5960. Call now.
Limited time offer, 24-month commitment and credit qualification required. Cancellation fee, auto pay, and paperless billing and other restrictions apply. Since you can't see the difference, don't pay the difference. Switch to Dish and get the best deal in entertainment for less.